Nathaniel.
Hello, Klaudia.
Nathaniel, can you briefly explain what are employee capital plans?
Well, an employee capital plan, in Polish called PPK, is a new private, common and voluntary system of long-term savings, and it's based on the cooperation between employers, employees and the state.
And what are the main aims of the program?
Well, the biggest and the biggest aims and the main aims of employee capital plans include, first of all, increasing employees' financial security, improving people's quality of life after retirement, and last but not least, improving the structure of savings accumulated by households.
So how is this program structured?
All entitled employees are automatically enrolled to an employee capital plan, or to PPK, by their employer, and he acts on their behalf. The program is being implemented gradually between 2019 to 2021 based on the size of the company. So it will depend on the size of the company when it will be enrolled into the system. Then we've got the payments, and payments both from the employer and from the employee are transferred by the employer to the employee's individual account in a chosen financial institution. The amount of the basic contribution provided by the employer is 1.5% of the gross remuneration of the employee. And the employer has also the option of making an additional contribution, which may be up to 2.5% of the total remuneration. The amount of basic employee contribution, on the other hand, is 2% of his gross remuneration, and the employee also has the option of increasing his contribution by an additional contribution, which may not exceed another 2% of the salary of the employee. Savings made by the employee and the employer are supplemented with regular subsidies from the state, and we've got two such subsidies. Well, one is an entry subsidy. It's a one-time welcome payment of 250 zlotys, and that happens at the beginning of saving. The other regular contribution by the state is additional payment of 240 zlotys to their to an individual account of the employee, which is transferred every year as a sort of gratification for regular saving.
The most important thing for foreigners is whether they can take advantage of the program and save in the PPK. Can they?
Yes, the Act on PPK does not differentiate employees based on their nationality. Therefore, foreigners can also join the PPK provided that they meet the same conditions as the Poles do. So it's pretty straightforward here. But essentially, foreigners need to provide proof of being subject to insurance in Poland. That is also the same with Poles who have to pay insurance from their gross remuneration, from what they get, because that is how employee capital plans work. And PPK will allow, in general, approximately 11.5 million employees, including almost 600,000 legally working foreigners, to save regularly for retirement.
But if an employee plans to leave Poland in the future, is it still worth it to save in the PPK?
I think it is still profitable to save in PPK, even for 1 year. PPK is the only savings program in Poland where funds come from three sources, as I described in the part when I was talking about the structure of the program. So we've got the employee, the employer, and the state. To calculate the amount of money that one can save in PPK during a specified period of time and the breakdown of the contributions, I would highly recommend using the PPK calculator, which you can find on the official source of information on about PPK, about employee capital plans, and the website for this is www.mojeppk.pl. We will link the website in the description of this podcast, so it will be easier for you to find it. And this is the one official source of information about PPK.
Thank you. Can savings be transferred to the pension fund in employee home country or elsewhere abroad?
Well, here it's rather straightforward. The Act on PPK does not allow for the transfer of money from PPK to pension programs operated in other countries. So, therefore, this sort of operation is not possible.
In that case, what are the options for withdrawal of funds for an employee who decides to leave Poland?
Well, in such a case, the employee can withdraw money from PPK, from his or her PPK before leaving Poland, and for withdrawals before reaching the age of 60, the employee will receive the savings that he or she has accumulated, reduced by capital gains tax, 30% of the funds from the employer's contribution, and funds from state subsidiaries. So we get what is left after deducting those three parts, but it will still be more after the deductions than when we decide to regularly save and put aside 2% of our gross monthly remuneration on our own, because we have the three parties that help us in the process of saving.
And that's what distinguishes this program. And how about foreigners who wish to stay in Poland indefinitely?
Foreigners who wish to stay in Poland should note that joining the PPK will increase their chances of obtaining the right to stay in their country. This will be an additional argument for officials that will be examining the application for the right of residence.
Can documents confirming employees' participation in PPK be drafted in language other than Polish?
Although the Polish law gives absolute priority to the Polish language in concluding contracts, it does allow contracts with employees who are not Polish citizens to be concluded at their request in their language. So the Act on PPK does not prohibit the use of language other than Polish in relations with PPK participants, and therefore not only contracts but also all information materials for employees can be prepared in foreign languages, for example in English.
Building up on that, are there already any informational materials available in languages other than Polish?
Yes, there are. They are to be found on our website, which I will repeat will be linked to the description of this podcast. You can find informational brochures in English and Ukrainian in the tab which is called Files to Download.
Thank you.
Thank you.